And today we're going to be talking about how you can achieve more with the mPower program. And
the broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, if I'm duplicating what I just said, I just got an interruption here, but a little technology glitch. We're over it. So I want to welcome you all again. We're starting in with our program here this morning about achieving more with our mPower I-Series, which is the large industrial printers that are out there on the marketplace and are the largest number of printers that are there on the market as far as consumption and usage in the marketplace. So let's go ahead and get started here. Want to look a little bit at our agenda that we'll cover today. First of all, we're going to look at the DTG industry itself and the market. We'll also look at some of the challenges and business advantages, drill down into some of the market specifics. And then we want to talk about our mPower Digital Apparel Printer, its advances, the economics, give you also some feedback from actual users, anecdotal information that'll talk about real folks that have bought our printers and what they're doing and what they've done for their lives and for their business. And I want to get into a question and answer session at the very end. So feel free to keep those questions jotted down. You can load them up as we get to the end. I'll reserve and take them at that appropriate time. Specifically, digital apparel printing, it is the future. All businesses, promotional products, retail businesses, right now they're looking at the key point that if they do not diversify, they're not going to be around. Their competition is going to take over. They've also got continuous pricing pressure, whether it's on a product, whether it's a service, but that's something that every business is facing every day. And increased competition now is not just coming at them from another brick and mortar store, it's also coming at them through the web and social media. And why? Because as the infamous bank robber once said, it's where the money is, and that's where they're going to go. We now look at our ability to shop online on the same parallel as we do getting in our car and going down the street. So all of these facets are going to enter into the competitive drive, and this is where the digital printing business can actually help you achieve even more. So why should you get started in the shirt printing business? First of all, it's interesting to note that the whole garment decoration industry is $44 billion in size, and out of that, garment printing is $23 billion. So when you take that and you break it down even further, the garment printing industry today currently is still being operated 95% of the time by screen printing, and that says there is a huge upside capability allowing direct-to-garment printing to enter in and slowly erode that grip that screen printing's had for many, many years. And we'll explain more about that as we move further in through this discussion today. Now, some of the challenges in the industry, obviously, is that production equipment can be very costly. Older technology generally requires a longer learning curve. When you're doing things by hand as opposed to doing them in a high-tech fashion, it takes more time. The learning process, getting a better understanding of how to make adjustments is greater there than it is with things that are more highly technically involved. Smaller jobs in the current or the older state, especially with screen printing, have very, very low margins. In fact, at some points, they're actually losing money. And that's many times why screen printers have traditionally turned away small print drops, which creates a great opportunity for people that are in direct-to-garment printing to take that business over, create a path of opportunity, and maybe sometimes even work with other screen printers. The industry is also finding, like everybody else, there's a continuous need to attract new clients. And again, if you don't, if you're just dependent upon your existing clients, over time your business will begin to shrink. Competitive edge, higher customer service quotients to lock in repeat buyers and clients. Again, you can't just depend upon the same product, the same service you've been doing for 20 years. You need to diversify. And again, with lead times and shipment times, you need fast fulfillment. And if you can't do that in the industry with, say, screen printing and other types of modalities, why even bother about it? So what's the solution? Durable, very high volume direct-to-garment printers are the solution, and they have been the solution over the last several years and are continuing to erode away at that 95% grip that screen printing has had. It's a very easy to learn, the multiple aspects of direct-to-printing, and profit margins are substantial, upwards to as much as 75% on garments and other products that you can achieve. And we'll share some of those examples with true real-life stories and testimonials from folks later in this presentation. It does attract all types of new business. You can take those samples. You can use logos and campaign issues onto a shirt. You have very, very fast turnaround with direct-to-garment, something that competitively in the screen print business you don't have. You can also personalize it. Again, a leg up on the competitive side when you're comparing yourself to the other garment printing modalities. And this really dramatically almost eliminates lead times, ship times, and middlemen. So many times I talk with current customers who, before they got their printer, they were actually, their biggest concern was could they hold on to their business because it took them so long once they got the order, stand in line along with everyone else with the screen printer they were working with. Many times their customers would back out, cancel the deal, or elect not to even go with them in the first place. Also, there's advantages from an operational standpoint. Direct-to-garment printers, they're easy to learn, which is key for many startups. Most startups, many times, are individuals that are coming in. They have a desire to get into the business. Maybe they know graphics real well, but they don't know the printing side, or maybe they know the printing side, not the graphics, or maybe they're coming from a whole different realm where they're learning it all from the ground up. And for a startup, this is an advantage that we bring to the table with our printers in this whole industry. You don't need a lot of space to get started with our printers. Very minimal size, whether you're working out of a office, whether it's a garage, maybe it's a spare bedroom. And if you've got already a customer base, you've got their graphics and their logos, you've already got a head start in this thing. So many of our customers have started out where they have a handful of customers, logos, and business ready to go, and they're printing within just a short matter of time after they've put their printer in the setup position, ready to go. They're making money in a very, very short period of time. Also allows you to differentiate your business. You can take sample shirts. We have people that have actually used, in lieu of brochures and advertising medium, they've taken a shirt, printed it up with the specifics of that company that they're trying to attract, and dropped that off to show them as an example of what they can do. And you can't do that in every industry as well. And what every business owner is always looking at is, what is your ROI? How quickly can I recover my investment back? And we've got customers that in as little as 3 months have received everything back that they put into their initial investment. So this is not some pie-in-the-sky multi-level marketing thing that theoretically says if you can sign up all these people, you're going to make X amount of money. These are true examples that we'll share with you later, real folks that have turned their investments around in a very short period of time and are putting a lot of business to the bottom line. Now, in the whole industry of direct-to-garment, this term DTG that we throw around, on a worldwide basis, Anajet has a 45% share. And as you look at the screen, you'll notice there's other competitors out there who, on an international basis, names you may see also here in the United States, which you'll see on the right side of the screen. And when it comes to the United States side, the share of the marketplace overwhelmingly has voted their approval and their acceptance with our printers. Anajet is known as the name in direct-to-garment printing. There are others out there, and I will tell you that with the evolution and changes that are coming about in the marketplace, some of these competitors of ours have either started to pull away or have already announced that they're only going to be around for a limited time just because they've not been able to keep pace, or they're going to take their investment monies and turn them into other areas such as maybe embroidery and the like. Commercial printers understand the need for Anajet printers. It's an inkjet technology, similar maintenance needs, so they understand that. There's very much a parallel there. With our RIP software that comes with each and every printer, it creates for a very, very fast learning curve. And again, similar market expectations. They've got a demand for faster turnaround. They're turning away business that needs to get taken care of immediately. It allows them to keep their customers coming to them for everything. They don't have to outsource. And once you start outsourcing, many times the customer may think, you know, I can do this on my own. I can take it to somebody else. And there's an opportunity that's already gone. They can't afford to turn away business. Nobody can anymore. And whether you're turning it away because it's not within your realm of capability or because you just can't accommodate their needs, that's lost opportunity. And again, high customization, personalization. So many times we've had people come back and say they were able to get a print job not because they were any cheaper than the competitor, it's because they could customize it, they could personalize it to the needs of the customer as opposed to their competition. And what that creates for you? Creates fatter margins. And fatter margins means you have a great revenue source, and it's an additional revenue stream that you can add to the other forms of business that you may be incorporating if you're a commercial printer. Screen printers as well, and embroidery shops, they understand the whole aspect of having DTG in their shops. Again, mass personalization and fulfillment companies such as Cafe Press and Zazzle, who have upwards to 30 of our printers working around the clock 7 days a week, understand the need to create the or to fulfill the demand by the market that's out there. Again, a fast learning curve. When you understand colors and garments, you can modify those graphics. You can make things happen very, very quickly. And what are some of the differences? Now screen printers can say yes to those short order runs. In the past, they'd have to turn people away or charge them exorbitant prices that generally most people aren't willing to pay for. And if you can take somebody that you can now take on for maybe a 1 or 5 or 10 shirt order, guess who they're coming back to when they need the bigger orders? And it allows you to build your client base. Embroiders are the same. They can print a sample on demand faster than a sew-out. Again, it just adds another revenue stream to an existing business to keep their customers happy, and that's what all businesses are looking to do. Very low in the way of operator needs. You don't need a large staff, and most of these shops with screen printers and embroiderers, they don't have large staffs, and to bring this on allows them to keep the staff level low, keep their costs low, keep their margins up. And again, full-color digital prints with high volumes. You walk into a screen printer with an 8, 10-color graphic, and you want 50 to 100 shirts. It's going to be very difficult. And if some of you on this webinar have received any of the samples from your regional sales manager, you'll understand when you look at those samples, that would be a screen printer's nightmare, something that they really couldn't handle from a screen printing process. But when they have that digital printer sitting off to the side, they can fulfill that order and keep that client coming back not only for more orders of like nature, or also for very large screen print jobs as well. We're also finding that promotional product distributors understand the need for having direct-to-garment in their operations. Again, customers want speed, they want customization, they want personalization. They're always looking for a wide variety in products and colors and designs. I've spoken to many individuals. I have one key customer who started out with one of our printers nearly a year ago, almost a year ago this time. And she is only involved in the aspect, or was involved in promotional products. Now she's not only doing promotional products, but she's doing printing on canvas. She's doing other shirt runs. She's doing things that she never thought she'd be doing, and it's opened up a whole other opportunity to expand her sales with her existing customers and to take on new customers as well. Gives them an advantage. It allows them to survive. Very competitive world out there with promotional products, and to be able to say, I can not only do what my competitors are doing, but I can do more. I can give you the opportunity to add this to it, can create the difference between the growth of a business or just hanging on. And again, greater margins. The margins, as you'll see on these shirts, and we'll demonstrate here in a little bit, are phenomenal. And when you're used to dealing in a promotional product world where you're trying to sell a lot of tchotchkes for a little bit of margin and hoping to sell a lot of volume, this makes all of the sense. It cuts out lead times and middlemen, and you can give those samples to them on demand. You can respond to their needs quickly and efficiently. Let me give you an idea of how others are looking to incorporate this whole aspect of DTG printing. We recently, back in November, were asked by the Ford Motor Company to set up just one printer, our MP10i, and this was at the SEMA show over in Las Vegas at the Convention Center, the largest car convention show in America. For 3 straight days, people were standing in line for up to 2 hours at a time getting customized graphics printed on their T-shirts. They were allowed to come in with graphics. We would rip them right there on the spot, transfer that image over to the printer, print it up in just a matter of a couple of minutes, and they're walking away. As you can see in the lower left-hand corner, with our tech support person there with his, Tim with his thumb up, standing next to a customer. That was the graphic we printed for him, and as you can see there in the lower right corner, the lines of individuals standing there waiting to get this was just unbelievable. And the waits were 2 to 3 hours at a time, and they weren't leaving. Besides just shirts, the printers themselves extend beyond the whole garment world, such as metal and glass and wood. You have the capability to apply foil as a finished product on the application. You can take as small as 30 cents worth of foil, put that overlay onto a shirt. You've now created a perceived value that will take that retail value of the shirt from $5 to $10 more than what it would have been without the foil. And all you did was add about 30 seconds of your time and 30 cents worth of material to achieve that extra marginal difference. And we've had people that have done this time and time again, and they said a shirt that I normally was selling for $15, $18 is now going for $25. You can also print on canvas. You can take artwork. You can take digital photography. So the ability to go just beyond the whole realm of T-shirts and other garments is much greater than just a very simple application in the minds of some individuals. Markets that you can take this to. We boldened here on the screen some that have been just really expanding over the last few years. But when you look at all of these various markets that you can take your sales into, retail stores always comes to mind, the brick and mortar. But as many of you on this call may be looking at, you may have an online presence right now. You're not looking to do brick and mortar. What a great opportunity to be able to sell quickly and fulfill that sale very quickly without having to have a lot of inventory on hand. You've got blank shirts. You print them up on demand. You've only paid a couple of dollars for that shirt, and when it goes out the door, you're selling them for $15 to $20. You don't need a retail brick and mortar store, but retail stores have them as well. It adds additional value to walk-ins. We'll share a story of that with a college bookstore back east that added one to their operations, and within just a fairly short period of time. Well, I'll share the story with you when we get to it, but you'll be amazed as to what happened to them. But again, all of these other organizations are targets for you. If you're not going after them, your competition is, and now it will create a wealth of other avenues that you can sell into. Let's talk a little bit about the printer itself, the mPower. This is a printer that we originally rolled out in 2011, and so it's now on the market for 3 years. Let me just state, this is not our opinion. These are facts. These have been demonstrated and have been supported by independent studies. We have the fastest direct-to-garment printer that's out there, the fastest. We have rapid return on your investment, as we'll point out here in a little bit. We've also got one of the best technical support departments that you will find, and free training for life. I want to stress that. With every one of our printers, you have the ability to come to our Anajet University, and we hold our classes from 9 to 5 every Friday here in our facilities in Costa Mesa, California. And that training is free. It's free for life. As you grow and expand your business, you want to bring other employees back. They need additional training. Maybe you want to come back for additional training. That's always available to you for the life of the machine. You'll always have unlimited technical support for the life of your machine, and that is a direct line that you'll be talking to our trained technical support staff, also based right here in our production facilities in Costa Mesa. With the mPower, again, you have so many more possibilities. It is not just a one item, one thing kind of printer. It will do extended media. You've got the foil. You've got the ability to do 3D. Wish I could show that to you here on the slide presentation, but you actually can create 3D prints. And when people come to our showroom and our demonstration training facilities here, they are just blown away by what you can do with that creative technique, and you'd be surprised at the reception in the marketplace, again, for that kind of product. The other thing, too, and the one thing that we are very, very proud of, and none of our competition can make this claim, is we are the only ones that can say our printers designed by us, our engineers, our research and development team, from the ground up, they are produced right here in our facilities in Southern California. All of our supplies and products that go into making that machine are within an 18-mile radius of our factory, which means for you that we're never dependent upon shipments coming from overseas to fulfill any type of parts or supplies or anything for your ongoing support. So it is USA made from top to bottom, which is something that I think in this day and age is something to be quite proud of. Now, we've made some advances since we originally rolled out the mPower series. It's now the I series. We added that on in April of just last year, so we're about 10 months into that rollout. And what that has brought is, first of all, better ink flow. If you have any knowledge or experience in this industry, knowing that white ink is always the issue that you want to make sure is working well, we put a patented closed-loop ink delivery system into our printers. And what does that mean for you? What it means is the knowledge and the belief and knowing that you've always got that ink flowing back and forth. It's not pushing through and out the heads and being wasted. It is flowing back and forth in the print lines to keep it from any type of clogging. This leads to better print quality. It also reduces your cost. It also allows for quicker initial fill process when you're setting up your printer or when you're refilling it after a system clean. You get the better ink flow. It reduces and avoids the banding, the dropouts, gives better print quality all the way through, and again, less ink and flush consumption when you are flushing and filling under normal maintenance routines, which again, this is lower cost of ownership. So when you have faster printers with least amount of maintenance, with better technology, It says you've got better outcomes and a faster return on the investment that you're putting into it. Also says you've got more reliability with more durable components. When we brought out the I-Series, we changed check valves. We have a new design for a much more sustainable performance. Our durability also applied throughout with our robust wiper arms, our actuator, guidance design, improved firmware for efficiency. And by the way, for the life of the machine, any firmware enhancements we make, we pass those on to you. More improved and efficiency cleaning routines. And here's something I do want to stress that so many in the marketplace are beginning to realize. We are the only ones with this kind of a printer that have Ricoh stainless steel print heads. And what does that mean? Look around at our competition. Most of our competition is using a plastic print head. And that plastic print head, as good as it might be, and from the manufacturer that produces it, does require minimally that you're going to be replacing it about every 12 to 15 months. That's an additional $1,000 to $1,500 cost a year. With a stainless steel printhead by Ricoh, the toughest in the marketplace, you've got 100 billion activations on that printhead, which means this is a printhead that is designed for life of the machine. You're not looking to replace those printheads. You're not looking to get the cloggings. You're not looking to get the breakdown. One of the problems with plastic printheads is if you're attached to a printer that doesn't have auto recirculation, or you're not doing proper maintenance, you're subject to blowing that printhead out and breaking it. And plastic, as we all know, is plastic. We also improved the ANARIP, which is the software that comes with your printer. In fact, we're actually going to be rolling out a new update on that in about 90 days, which is going to make even more enhancements. It's going to make the RIP software work even better than what it currently does. And for all of our current customers, whether they've had the machine for 1 month or 3 years, they'll get those upgrades for free. That's another benefit with our printers that you get for life. We are committed to the durability and the ease of use. And as I said, free lifetime upgrades on the software, the firmware. If you're not up and running, we don't have a happy customer. And if we don't have a happy customer, you're not coming back to us to buy new printers, buy ink, to recommend us to others. And our goal is to make sure that what we have sold to you is going to make your business be as optimally performing as possible. That's why, again, we have the tradition of free training. We want you to always be able to do everything that you need on that machine. And if you want to come back and spend another day or use the other video aids that we have available to our customers, that is something that we will always have for you. And something I will add, by the way, we do not provide for anyone that buys our printers from a third party. We don't pass along free tech support. We don't pass along free training, nor do we give lifetime upgrades on the firmware and software. We also, as I said, have free lifetime technical support. Unlike some companies where after the warranty runs out, you have to pay by the hour to talk to a tech support person who may or may not be based here in the States, that will never be the issue here. You'll call on a 1-800 line that goes to our tech support team. You'll give them your serial number, and they're going to talk to you, help you out with any and all issues that you may be dealing with. We have no hidden setup fees, no mandatory site visits. Some of our competitors require that you have to have somebody come to your location and go through this and go through that. We don't. You can actually set up and begin printing yourself. But we always tell you, we want you to come out here. We want you to go through the training. And when you do set up that machine, you're going to be talking to our tech support team that's going to guide you through the whole other through the process throughout that time. And again, no other direct-to-garment manufacturer can offer the same type of package that we are. Let's talk a little bit about the software. As I mentioned earlier, the RIP software is the best in the industry. Many people will ask, well, gee, how do I get that print from my computer into the printer. It's very easy. When you open up the AnaRip software, you'll just drag and drop your graphic right into the application. And that drag and drop can be something that's coming off of, say, Corel, Illustrator, Photoshop, could be a TIFF, a PNG, could even be a digital photography picture. You can drag any and all of that in. You're going to be able to calculate the cost of what it will be to print that print in the way that you have set it up. You'll be able to modify it. You'll be able to customize it. If you want a distress look and want to lay down less white ink underneath to make the colors look more washed out, kind of that old navy look I say, you can do that. Or if you want to make it much more vibrant where it just jumps off, you can, again, massage it. It's not just put it in there and you take what you get. And what you'll actually see is what we call true view. You'll actually see on the screen what that is going to look like based upon the background that you're printing onto. It's a very easy process. Again, as part of the training, you will be spending your time not only in setting up and maintaining your printer, you'll be spending your time also in working with the software, and always have the ability to reach back to our technical support team and take advantage of other videos to maintain that that knowledge base that you have with the software. Let's look about a little bit about the differences between the two machines. As I mentioned early on, we have the MP10i and the MP5i. The primary difference is the speed factor. They look exactly the same. It's just that the 10 has 6 print heads, the 5 has 3. And on average, when you're printing white shirts, normal size graphic is showing there in the screen, about 20 seconds for white shirts, 40 seconds on an MP5. Black shirts, again, are going to double up in time, only because you're taking the effort to lay down the white, underlayment, and then bringing the color ink on top of that. As we point out here, reasonable output, 10 hours per day, 5 days a week. If you're in a high-end production shop on a daily basis, that says with the 10, you can reach goals of 400, 800 shirts a day, again, depending upon are you printing white shirts, black shirts, or a combination of any and all. You're going to be looking at approximately half of that when you're with an MP5. When you translate that out on a per month or to a per year basis, you can readily see that it doesn't take very long. Once your volumes have started to maximize based upon your sales activity, when you start transferring those numbers and looking at your actual gross profit per shirt, you can see very readily that your return on your investment is going to come very, very quickly for you as well. Let's look a little bit here about the cost of ownership. And we're going to take some assumptions here that may not be applicable to everyone's situation, depending upon types of garments they're printing on or what they're looking to do. But from a general standpoint, fully loaded cost of a printed white shirt is going to be in that $2 to $3 range. And again, it'll vary according to what type of shirt you're buying, the size of the graphic. And again, we're talking about white shirts here. If you're selling on a retail basis, that can be around $15 to $18. That having been said, says minimally you should be around $12 on an average gross profit on that shirt. If you're employing, we put our Sprint in here, which is our introductory model printer for people that have small type of needs, but after 1,500 shirts on a Sprint, approximately 2,500 on the MP5i or 3,500 on the 10i, you can see it does not take long before you've now recovered the entire investment that you made into that whole setup. And again, this says you're looking at production capacity of upwards from 20 to 200,000 shirts per year. When you have some of these machines and some of these fulfillment companies working 3 shifts a day, 7 days a week, their volumes go off the chart. And again, it's not just about production. It's also about having a quality output. maxed also and matched with the volume and an efficient production. So if you've got a great looking product, but it takes you 8 to 10 minutes to print each shirt, and you need to make 150 to 200 shirts a day, it's going to be a very long day. At the same time, if it'll print off a bazillion shirts an hour, but they all look horrible and they don't last and don't hold up and don't have wearability, you won't be long in the business. You need something that combines all of that together. To give you a little example of how this has worked out for some of our customers, I want to, some of you may have, if you've talked with me or with your own regional sales manager, you may have heard us talk about Henry Landau. He's a gentleman back in Princeton, New Jersey, who a few years ago, on the advice of his son, recommended that they bring one of our printers into their bookstore. Now, do understand, this is a bookstore that's been, Henry is the third generation in his family to own this bookstore. It sits across the street from Princeton University. They've had a huge following over the years. It's where all of the students, the faculty, everybody comes there to buy their books and garments and everything else. And Henry had been outsourcing everything. And he did start out with a Sprint. He got his ROI back, as it shows here, in 5 months. He got to the point where his demand was outpacing the capability to produce. So he traded it in. He got an MP5i. They've been printing all day, every day since then. I'll be seeing Henry next month at a trade show down in Dallas, and I'm fully expecting him to tell me even more stories again about how it's been such a life-changing event for his business back there. I mean, he literally took something that he thought would just maybe bring in just a little bit of business, has now created something, as it says there, in 17 months, he had gross sales of $250,000. What we also don't tell you here is that he went on to put over 400,000 of sales in 30 months. 400,000 of sales with a margin that left him of over $240,000 at the end of that time. Not a bad return on your investment. Chuck Northcott is a gentleman out of the Seattle area. Chuck has been a customer of ours for many, many years, and a very knowledgeable individual. He started out with embroidery machines, and he brought on one of our printers many years ago, and he's now, as it says there, he owns 4 of our printers. And he's taking this example here of a production run. They had 250 shirts. You can see the graphic there in the picture. They did that in 5 hours. No fallouts. Everything went through perfect. On average, the ink cost was 19 cents. And part of the software tells you what that ink cost is. So you can build that in to your pricing model when somebody comes to you with a specific graphic that they want to have done and you're trying to estimate the cost. The machine or the software will actually tell you the cost of the ink that you're using on that particular print. And as Chuck goes on to point out, he only paid $1.45 for the shirt, 19 cents an ink. He's paying somebody at $10 an hour. He's got 20 cents in labor costs. And so for $1.84, he's selling it for $13. At 11 bucks, that little job generated nearly $2,800 on just 250 shirts. And as Chuck went on to say, he says, if I did that 5 days a week, that translates to over $700,000 in profit. So this is why Chuck has come back to us to add more printers into his production, because it just makes him much more productive, allows him to get to his work faster, and it's all profit driven. If you head back east, Andy Buchholz, back on the East Coast in Virginia, uses his printer, and he's given us examples here of what he's using them for. He's a sign shop, and he brought his MP5 in. He's now got an MP10. And again, overnight, he got over a third increase in his overall business. Just 1 month alone, after he was bringing in the 10, that was $21,000 in total sales in just 1 month. So again, just trying to show you not only is it a very profitable machine, but it allows you to expand your current business, allows you the capability, as Andy is showing here, of all of the various media that you can print onto. We have a gentleman also out here in Southern California, in Santa Ana, a gentleman by the name of Jason Bryan. Again, 4 of his printers in our shop. His words are just golden. I mean, the MP10, it's improved productivity tenfold. He had to buy more heat presses. He didn't need more printers. He needed more heat presses because the shirts were being handled so quickly. He needed more capability to cure the print at the end. And again, this is a gentleman who's been around the industry for a long time, has had his own screen printing business, and he didn't get rid of the screen printing business. This just became an adjunct into a business that was already there. If you haven't been able to personally see our printers, I would encourage you to take the time, if you can, work it into your schedule. If it's in close proximity to where you live, come by one of the trade shows. In fact, if you go to our website, you can get a complete listing of all of our all of our trade shows we'll be going to on our website. If you are wanting to attend, let your regional sales manager know. He'll be able to get you passes to get in. You'll be able to go by the booth and you'll see the printers. We'll actually be printing there. It won't be just a booth and handing out collateral material and talking about the printer. We'll literally be printing, and it won't be our tech support people that'll be doing the printing. It'll be us. It'll be the regional managers. And quite honestly, myself and others included, I know a lot of these folks around here, some of us have no mechanical skills. And if we have the ability to print and handle these machines and can do the nominal maintenance that's required, anybody can do it. And I would encourage you to get by to one of these shows. And so this is just a short list of what we've got coming up over the next 30 days. A more extensive list is out there on the website. I would definitely encourage you to go out and visit it. And also, again, we have every week training going on right here at what we call Anajet University, where we're training our folks. They spend a whole day from 9 until 5, and when they walk away, they're not just walking away with some notes. They've actually been sitting with a printer for their own use. They're printing, they're going through setup, maintenance, troubleshooting, everything, and having the capability to know how to run that printer just like they were a pro at it. At this point, what I'd like to do, for those of you that have additional questions, if you want to type those questions in, I'll be able to see them here on the screen. Take your questions and answer them for you as they come through. Again, what we're hoping to do today is, one, to encourage you that if you're just now looking at getting into thinking about bringing a printer into your business, hopefully we stirred the pot enough that we want you to go further in that thought process or your dialogue with your regional sales manager. If you have come to the conclusion you want one, what we're hoping to do is we're making that decision easier for you to finalize getting that purchase done and getting that printer set up and running for you as quickly as possible. So let me see what kind of questions we've got here. I'm going to go back here. Do we have training on the East Coast? We're based in Pennsylvania. Actually, we don't. All of our training is done here in our facilities in sunny Southern California. My question back to you is, why would you want to do training in Pennsylvania if you could come to Southern California and do it? But on a serious note, I can understand the logistics. But here's the other side of it. If you're going to make an investment in a printer like this, take the budget into the cost, the training. It's a flight, it's a hotel for 1 or 2 nights. You fly in on Thursday, you train all day on Friday. Miraculously, most people want to spend the weekend out here in warm, sunny Southern California and turn it into a little bit of a vacation maybe. But we also have online video programs and programs that actually duplicate online what you would be getting here in the class. The only downside is you just don't have the interaction capability with the trainer at that time, but it does cover everything from A to Z as you would be getting here in the class as well. Can you merge names and numbers? Or do you have to re-rip the art? Actually, what we recommend is you can take the artwork and you can do two passes. You can print them all. Let's say it's a certain logo, a team logo, and you can print them all up with that particular logo and then go back and add the name if you want, but you would need to re-rip on each one, but you can do it on the fly. We were doing this in that trade show there in Las Vegas I was showing you earlier for the Ford Motor Company, and it goes very, very quickly. Once you become proficient on the software, it's not difficult at all to handle that kind of a situation. Approximately how much is the mPower? I have a quote for the Sprint. Talk to your regional sales manager. You'll actually find that the price difference between the two is not all that great. And here's something else to keep in mind. Print cost, actually, for purposes of ink, will be different on the Sprint than they will be on the mPower. The mPower ink actually costs 20% less than the ink cost with the Sprint. So even though you might be getting a less expensive upfront cost with the Sprint, over time, what you'll be saving in ink cost will allow you to make up that saving. At the same time, you also will be able to print faster. You'll be able to get your production work done quicker, which means faster turnaround on your sales, which means more money into your pocket and the ability to take on more sales. So talk to your regional sales manager about the difference. Don't tell them I told you this, but you can always make a deal with them. Tell them to tighten up on the pencil a little bit, and they'll be able to work with you. And yes, you want to come to California? Yes, I told you you would. I know why would you want to do training in Pennsylvania, but the springtime is good back there, and the fall's not bad as well. Can the software be used on a Mac, or is it Windows only? Great question. Our programs are designed for a Windows-based, but we have many Mac shops that use our printers. They just use Parallels or Boot Camp to interact with it. And I will tell you this, by the way, if you haven't seen it or had your questions answered about it, unlike our early printer, the Sprint, which does require you to have a printer logged onto it all the time, whether it's a laptop or a PC, with our mPower series, you can either tether a printer into the USB port in the back, or you can rip your graphics on your computer offline, load them up to a thumb drive and put it into the second USB port that's on the front panel, and you can store up to 8 gig of graphics on the printer at any time. So if you've got repetitive graphics that are always going to be used, you've got customers who are always coming back to you for that graphic, or customers are always wanting that to be printed, my recommendation would be to load those graphics onto the system. You've got them there. You can just pull them up like any file on your computer, and you can print on demand. And it's really great. Let's say you've got a graphic that you've ripped it for the men's shirts, but you also have done something different for the women's shirts just to accommodate the size. Now you've got 2 different rips. You can leave that on the printer. That way you can print on demand without having to have the printer tethered onto a computer at any time at all. So yeah, keep that in mind. Windows is not a problem. We've had numerous and very successful companies that work with Macs all the time, so don't let that be a deterrent to you at all. Looks like at this point we've obtained, I think, all the questions. Unless anybody has any more, what I would encourage you to do is to reach back to your regional sales manager, talk with them. If they haven't sent you out samples, make sure they get you those complimentary samples in the mail, because we want you to see what they look like. We also want you to put them through a durability test, wash them up, look at how long these things last, because as I tell my customers, if it looks good but it doesn't last, nobody's coming back. You need something that is long-lasting, and these prints will last longer than screen printing, far longer than heat transfer. So get samples if you haven't had them. If you're wanting to come to our trade shows that are coming up here in the near future, let us get you passes for the purpose of attending. We definitely would want to have you out there, and we want to talk to you at any time, because again, at the end of the day, our job is to make your life easier. It's to provide you with the tools and the technology to enhance your business, and we want to see you very successful. So at this point, I think we've answered all of the questions that you've posted. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to close it up at this point. If you'd like to revisit this, we'll be reposting this out on the web here within about 24 to 48 hours, and we'll be sending copies of the presentation here as well. So if there's nothing else, I want to thank all of you for your time, and look forward to speaking with any of you in the very near future. Take care, and thanks.